Hello, and welcome to Nighttime Fables, a haven where stories come to life under the gentle hush of evening, guiding you toward a peaceful night's rest. Tonight, we bring you another calming tale, one crafted to ease your mind and invite a sense of tranquil calm. But first, let's take a few moments to prepare both body and mind for a restful sleep. Make yourself comfortable, and with each slow inhale and gentle exhale, feel the day's worries slowly melt away. It can be challenging to separate from the bustle of the day, especially as bedtime nears. Yet remember, the less we fret about falling asleep, the more our minds can let go of lingering tension. Let the gentle flow of your breathing soothe any concerns and allow tonight's story to guide you into a deep, restorative slumber. Now get cozy and let the soft glow of nighttime fables envelope you. Enjoy this story, and may it lead you into a serene and restful sleep. A gentle rain descends upon the serene forest, the soft percussion of raindrops on your umbrella, accompanying your unhurried steps through the woods. High overhead, the ash leaves whisper secrets as each droplet arrives. Rivulets trace paths down the furrowed bark of ancient oaks, seeping into the receptive earth. Though rain falls, a surprising warmth envelops you, a cozy pocket within the damp air. It's that particular kind of spring day, when the woods exhale a heady perfume, rich with nascent life. Azure drifts of bluebells carpet the ground on every side. Somewhere nearby, wild garlic releases its sweet, pungent aroma. Through the trees drifts the murmur of voices, laughter threading through the rain-hushed air. You know these winding paths intimately, with no pressing destination calling. You halt, captivated by a merle hopping across the uneven terrain. Its feathers, you observe, are not merely black. Captured within them are fugitive shimmers of beetle-wing green, deep violet, the blue of a starless night. Tiny, perfect spheres of water bead upon its plumage. The bird regards you for a fleeting moment, then flits away, seemingly as content in this drenched woodland as you are. Pausing beside a moss-grown tree stump near the wide track, you draw your eyes closed. A slow, deliberate inhalation fills your lungs. An equally measured exhalation releases tension you hadn't realized you held in shoulders and neck. A profound sense of contentment washes through you. A quiet gratitude for the vibrant life pulsing all around. Further along, the path arrives at a well-trodden junction. Straight ahead lies the way to the pond, where cygnets might now follow their gliding parents. To the right, a track slopes downward toward wildflower meadows, holding the promise of this year's first butterfly sightings. Instead, your feet turn left, guiding you deeper into the woods. Here, the trees press closer, their canopy thickening, muffling the sounds of other wanderers until they fade entirely. The trail opens unexpectedly into a clearing. You don't recall discovering this sanctuary before, yet gladness rises at the finding. A small circle of lush grass lies embraced by more ash trees. To one side stands a wooden shed, half swallowed by ivy tendrils, yet bearing the sheen of recent deep emerald paint. Its door rests slightly ajar. Curiosity stirs. What might lie within? Drawn forward, you approach the shed. Nearer now, you spy a gleaming brass plaque affixed to the door. Miniature railway. Reaching out, your hand meets the wood. The door swings inward without a sound, and silent invitation. This, you begin to suspect, might be a railway of uncommon character. Inside, the space defies its external dimensions, seeming vastly larger. Cool dimness prevails, save for a single spotlight illuminating a long table. Beneath this focused beam rests the miniature railway. A train, a station, exquisite scenery evoking a perfect fragment of pastoral England. You perceive undulating hills dotted with sheep and cattle no larger than postage stamps. Along a narrow lane, thatched cottages stand in a row. Miniature washing lines strung between their gardens. A locomotive of deep sapphire blue, coupled to two carriages, waits patiently at the tiny station. Across from it, a miniature watermill beside its still pond stands silent. Leaning closer, you drink in the details. In the village, a church with a square stone tower overlooks a green where ducks have settled with their infinitesimal, yet undeniably fluffy, ducklings. Nearby, a greengrocer receives a delivery of bright red tomatoes. A milk float waits further down the road. Upon the station platform, a station master, clad in shirt and waistcoat, leans casually against a lamppost. Tracing the tracks with your eyes, you see they don't loop back. They meander through the village, traverse the countryside, and vanish into a tunnel. Where could such a mysterious passage lead? Another detail catches your attention. Nestled into the table's edge, a coin slot. The mechanism, surely, to animate this world. But coins, you doubt you possess any. Almost involuntarily, your hand dips into your pocket. Fingertips brush against a cool, round metal object lodged in the very bottom seam. Strange. No memory of it resides within you. Turning the coin over in your palm, you trace its circumference, feeling the nicks and worn smoothness against your skin. The spotlight catches the metal, sending a delightful tremor down your spine. You guide the coin into the slot, closing your eyes. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath for a moment. As you slowly release it, your eyes flutter open. You stand upon the platform of a railway station, somewhere deep in the English countryside. A glance around confirms the impossible. It is the very scene you were just observing from above. The model railway, sprung to life. Here, mirroring the world outside the shed. It's a warm spring morning, but rain has yielded to cerulean skies. Sunlight burns through the last vestiges of overnight mist, and the scent of freshly mown grass hangs sweet and still upon the air. Moving a few steps away from the station's red brick facade, you step from shadow into the sun's embrace, welcoming its warmth on your face. At the platform's far end stands a conductor. Dressed in shirt and waistcoat, a broad smile illuminates her features. She offers a friendly wave. Two sharp, cheerful whistles sound from the engine. Best climb aboard. If you wish to discover this magical train's destination. You pull open the wooden carriage door and step inside. No sooner have you settled onto a plush seat of crimson velvet within your compartment than another whistle pierces the air. Plumes of white steam drift past the window. Peering out, you glimpse a heron descending with stately grace beside the mill pond. Even as you watch, the train begins to glide smoothly out of the station. Soon, the mill and its quiet water slide from view. Beyond them stretches a vast orchard. Row upon row of short, sturdy apple trees extend as far as the eye can see. You are undeniably distant from the shed in the woods now. The trees are heavy with blossom, a froth of pink and white against the green. Through the summer months, these petals will drift down, replaced by the first nascent buds of fruit, swelling day by day, rounder, brighter, juicier. In a few months, these fields will teem with pickers gathering plump green bramleys and speckled royal galas. But for this moment, the only sounds are the melodic calls of thrushes and merles, interwoven with the rhythmic click-clack of the steam engine. The carriage is warm, rocking gently as the orchard slips past. The velvet beneath your arm feels soft, comforting. Your breathing deepens, slows, your body swaying in time with the train's easy motion. As the trees begin to thin, the fields grow tidier, the grass shorter. Cattle and sheep graze with a lazy contentment beneath the brilliant sky. Behind a low stone wall lies a cricket pitch. A cluster of figures in white ambles out, ready to commence the day's play. The pitch's edge slopes gently away, and beyond another wall, the grass gives way to a pebble beach bordering a wide, meandering river. Willow trees drape their branches low over the water, the tips of their longest limbs just brushing the slow-moving current. You ponder the age of these silent witnesses, standing sentinel as the water flows past, day after day, month after month, year upon endless year. The steam engine's shuffling cadence slows slightly as it follows the river's curve. You are close enough now to spot the occasional fish basking in the sun-dappled shallows. How lovely it would feel, you imagine, to trail your hand through that fresh, pure water. Soft, clear, coolly refreshing. You can almost sense the gentle tug of the current at your fingertips. The prickle of cool water against the fine hairs on your hand. Soon, river and rails diverge once more. In the distance, a sandstone outcrop punctuates the clear sky. At its base, a dark opening. The tunnel, the very one that intrigued you back in the shed. It draws steadily closer. Where will it lead? You press your face to the window, looking back as the train's path curves gently leftward. The glass feels warm against your cheek. Through a shimmering heat haze rising from the earth, the entire village spreads out below. River and cricket pitch, orchards and fields, church spire and mill. All lies tranquil, suspended in time. With a final backward glance, you close your eyes and lean back into the seat. Darkness envelops the carriage as the train plunges into the tunnel. You take a moment to scan your body, noticing any lingering tightness or ache. With a single deep breath, any discomfort dissolves. You feel grounded, your body pleasantly heavy against the seat. You know you've emerged when the profound blackness abruptly shifts to a cool, bluish light. Opening your eyes, you find towering spruce and pines, mantled in snow, slipping past mere feet from the window. It is as if the magical train has traversed not just space, but seasons, carrying you from English spring to alpine winter. The trees part, revealing a breathtaking vista. The tunnel has delivered you to the floor of a wide valley, hemmed in by immense, craggy mountains. The snow covering the fields between train and slope is fresh, thick, pristine. More seems poised to fall from the heavy grey clouds hanging low overhead. Before the view can fully register, the trees close in again. But you notice the passage past the window is slowing. Leaving your compartment, you move into the corridor, peering out the opposite side. Here, snow-frosted boulders lie scattered at the base of sheer, dark grey cliffs, ascending toward the unseen sky. The tracks must be hugging the curve of another mountain flank. A subtle tightening of the brakes precedes a smooth halt at a minuscule station. Little more than a concrete platform adorned with a few bright red seats beneath a simple plastic shelter. This lack of structure affords an unobstructed view back down the valley. Before you, a blanket of untouched white snow stretches into the middle distance, while great sloping banks of pine climb the valley sides. The vast fields narrow toward a formidable cluster of mountains, their high, rugged peaks wreathed in swirling clouds. An impulse arises to explore this stark platform, however briefly. You're still clad in the jacket worn for the woodland walk, likely insufficient for this winter tableau. As the thought forms, an overhead locker clicks open. A pair of thick black winter gloves tumbles out. Smiling, you retrieve them and investigate the locker further. Fortuitous indeed. A knitted hat rests inside, white wool flecked with grey, alongside a long padded jacket. Slipping it on feels like burrowing under a soft warm duvet. You stroll toward the carriage end, pulling on hat and gloves as you go. Reaching the door, you turn the silver handle and step lightly onto the snow-covered platform. A satisfying crunch greets your boots. The powder is deeper than anticipated. A light breeze stirs the uppermost layer of snow, sending it swirling in delicate spirals around your ankles. The crisp alpine air tingles against your nose and cheeks. From this vantage point, the entire valley unfolds. These mountains, you realize, have stood here, silent and enduring, for millennia. Their peaks remember Pangaea. They have witnessed countless sunrises and sunsets and will continue their vigil for ages yet untold. Their immense ridges and spines were sculpted slowly, patiently. Wind, water, time itself shaped these titans. It strikes you that no matter how vast something seems, how overwhelming and immutable, given enough time and patience incrementally, it can transform into something entirely new. You pause, allowing a wave of gratitude for the scene before you to fill your being. Magical though the vista is, the warmth of the carriage beckons. Retracing your steps, you climb back aboard. Moments later, the train resumes its journey. The forest thickens once more outside the window as you remove the hat, gloves, and padded jacket, stowing them back in the locker. Just as you secure the latch, the train enters another tunnel, another passage into the unknown. Eagerness stirs within you. Where next? Abruptly, the greys and whites of the mountains dissolve into a hazy, oceanic blue. The resonant sound of heaving, rolling surf floods the carriage. You are now trundling along a track poised at the very edge of the sea. Between the water and the low cliff hugging the rails lies a sandy beach, though the tide appears high. You are so close to the waves, it feels as though you could reach out and touch the spray. Standing, you slide open the carriage window. The cool, salty tang of the sea air fills your nostrils. A warm breeze rustles your clothes. From here, the ocean appears boundless, stretching to the horizon. To your right, the sun hangs just above distant headlands that finger out into the water. Its declining rays cast shimmering paths across the surface just beyond the breaking waves. A gentle splash catches your eye, something resembling a light brown, furry cap bobs on the surface. Then another appears, and another. What could they be? Now the small forms seem to be floating lazily on their backs. Recognition dawns. Sea otters, a rare and fortunate sighting of these enchanting creatures. They delight, you recall, in diving into submarine kelp forests, foraging for sustenance, capable of holding their breath for minutes as they twist and play in the cool ocean depths. Sea otters possess a unique pouch within the fur of their chests, a natural pocket for stashing food. They drift along the surface, nibbling contentedly on shellfish and clams. They exhibit remarkable social bonds too. Groups often link paws while resting, swimming, or eating, forming rafts to maintain cohesion. Families sometimes even use strands of kelp to tether themselves together, preventing separation in the currents. Out in the ocean, the otters float serenely, observing the slow passage of your train. You blink, and in that instant, they vanish beneath the waves. Settling back into your seat, a pleasant weariness descends. Your eyelids feel heavy. Perhaps it is time to return. As if in answer, the steam engine sounds a soft whistle just as the train glides into yet another tunnel. You allow your eyes to drift closed. Opening them again, you see the familiar orchards through the window. The air is cooler now, the sun hanging low, painting streaks of violet and rose across high, thin clouds. The fragrance of springtime drifts through the open window. The day is gently closing. The rhythm of the wheels slows, decelerating as a recognizable village landscape slides into view. The church, the mill, the blossom-laden trees. It feels mere moments since you were last here, yet stepping off the train onto the platform. You sense the satisfying conclusion of a long, full day. As the sun dips below the horizon, you close your eyes, drawing in a long, slow breath, and then, just as slowly, releasing it. Opening your eyes once more, you find yourself standing back in the shed, discovered deep within the wood. Below you, petite and perfect as ever, rests the magical miniature railway. The shed door swings open of its own accord. Outside, the rain has ceased. The sun offers a final, fleeting glimpse over the treetops. You cannot have been absent long. The grass remains slick with moisture. It is time to head home. Leaving the shed, you walk deliberately across the damp grass toward the path you followed that morning. The sounds of the woods reassert themselves, distant voices, laughter, the occasional call of a swan from the direction of the pond. As you reach the tree line, you steal a glance back toward the clearing. To your astonishment, there is nothing there. No shed, no ivy, no freshly painted door. In fact, no sign that anything ever occupied that space. Where the structure had stood, only emerald blades of grass remain, erect and gleaming with residual rain. A smile touches your lips as you turn and walk deeper among the trees. Perhaps one day you will wander this way again and rediscover that magical railway. You hope so. Yet a deeper feeling suggests that if another adventure is meant for you, it will find its own way to you. A merle darts across the path ahead, a twig held firmly in its beak. Sunlight, breaking through the canopy, dances in luminous pools upon the woodland floor, still glistening from the morning's shower. With one final deep inhalation and exhalation, you turn towards the comfort of home. Let your breath settle into its own unhurried cadence. Allow the sanctuary within your mind to dissolve, replaced now by the sun-struck vision of an immense turquoise sea kissing the shores of the Australian coast. Gilded light cascades as you find yourself seated in a chugging motor launch, gliding deliberately toward a jewel of an island, dense with waving palms and tangled greenery. The rhythmic slap of waves against the hull accompanies the engine's thrum, a tactile breeze caressing your skin. Far off, piercing the verdant canopy, stands a stark white column, the lighthouse of Coral Isle. Here, our narrative unfolds. The vessel, christened the Daydream, pushes steadily onward. Silas, its skipper, affirms the island's evocative name, Coral Isle. As shallows near, he cuts the engine, the boat's momentum easing into a gentle drift. In the ensuing quiet, the ocean's voice softens, waves now merely sighing against the white fiberglass flanks. Leaning over the gunwale, you witness impossible congregations of minuscule fish, their fleeting passage casting fluid, dark hieroglyphs across the sunlit umber sand below. Ahead, the island reveals its intimate forest, fragrant palms mingling with eucalyptus. Their foliage shivers in the breeze, dispatching delicate perfumes across the water. Ascending sharply from this living tapestry is the White Sentinel, the lighthouse. Its rigid stillness offers a profound counterpoint to the restless environment, where trembling leaves echo the water's perpetual motion. The rustle from the trees sounds like a soft, sustained ovation, a welcome to this compact yet undeniably beautiful fragment of land. Drawing nearer, the coastline's palette deepens. Transparent shallows betray the sandy floor, transitioning further out through lucid greens into the profound blues of the open ocean. A seamless gradient stretching to meet the pale canvas of the sky at the world's edge. The Daydream glides alongside a weathered wooden pier, its progress arrested. You step onto the time-worn timbers, poised for discovery. Silas offers a wave, His own pursuit is piscatorial now, though he promises a return before day's end. The pier delivers you onto a ribbon of incandescent white sand girdling the isle. Stepping from wood to shore, you traverse the beach into a shaded clearing. Here, beneath the cool awning of tall trees, a crescent of huts and cabins nestles, havens for those lingering longer. Running a hand over one cabin's smooth wall reveals a subtle pattern of minute grooves, reminiscent of the offshore swells. Just past the primary cabin, a cluster of leafy trees screens the base of the Coral Isle lighthouse. This structure, the island's heart, and the purpose of your pilgrimage, waits. Yet the surrounding wilderness beckons first. To one side, a weathered signboard details the local fauna. Its script tells of creatures resident for generations, some having braved the swim from the mainland, others arriving through migrations lost to time, all weaving the fabric of Coral Isle's distinct animal society. Commencing your circumnavigation, you draw in the island's unique exhalation, the mingled spice of palm fronds and the clean tang of salt water, the very perfume, it seems, of a flawless day by the sea. The path curves gently, soon hiding the pier from view. After a time, the allure of the water proves irresistible. Distant reefs buffer the island, leaving the near-shore waters placid and inviting. Shedding your shoes, you wade in, the coolness climbing your legs. Then, a full immersion, gliding through the refreshing brine. You turn onto your back, floating, cradled by the gently pulsing current. The midday sun burns bright and fierce. You close your eyes against its glare. Motionless, you surrender to the sea's embrace, cool water supporting your back, while the sun lavishes warmth upon your face and limbs. Only the quiet murmur of water surrounding you penetrates the stillness. After several minutes adrift, profoundly relaxed, you feel renewed and ready to proceed. Wading ashore, you reclaim your shoes and cross the sand to find a narrow, well-trodden trail meandering through palms and coconut trees. Fallen fruit litters the ground. You stoop to lift a coconut, its coarse husk rasping against your palm, its weight promising ripeness within. Returning to the beach, where small stones lie scattered in casual arrangements, you strike the coconut against a jagged rock edge. It yields with a crack, releasing a sun-sparkled fountain of liquid. Tilting the broken sphere above, you let the juice cascade into your mouth, a cool, effortless stream, savoring its fresh inherent sweetness. Once drained, you employ the rock again, splitting the shell into two clean halves. Another strike quarters them into pale crescent moons gleaming against the sand. One by one, you lift the pieces, biting into the delicious flesh, crisp, yet surprisingly tender and moist. A sweet, tropical fragrance perfumes the air. Coconut consumed, you elect to wander back amongst the trees. A low, resonant buzzing emanates from a nearby palm. Soon, its source reveals itself, a beehive improbably shaped like a pineapple suspended from a branch. Its sheer weight causes the palm to list slightly, emitting faint creaks. Giving the hive a respectful distance, you continue through tall, reedy grasses until the path deposits you once more onto the encircling beach. You stroll along this sandy perimeter until the island's famed stone edifice looms into view. You have arrived at the Coral Isle Lighthouse. Its entrance stands open, a grand pair of double doors painted a bold crimson. The tower's walls are flawlessly smooth, curving upward. About midway, tall ledged windows punctuate the stone, soaring perhaps 10 meters high. Above these rests a viewing gallery, and crowning the entire structure is the immense lantern, capped by a roof that seems diminutive by comparison, like a jaunty hat. You cross the threshold into a small entrance hall, sunlight slanting through high windows. The space is dominated by a colossal spiral staircase, clinging to the circular walls as it ascends. At ground level, the lighthouse feels hushed, still, and faintly damp. The walls are massively thick, built to defy tempestuous winds. Furnishings are sparse, merely two deep, plush armchairs. Black and white tiles checkerboard the floor, while the staircase itself is painted white, its journey guided by an ornate wrought iron banister. You begin the ascent, your footsteps echoing in the cylindrical chamber. Reaching the first landing, you pause, drawing a deep breath, then releasing it slowly. Even here, enclosed in stone, the sea's pervasive scent rides the strong breeze. A chair sits beside the window. You sink into it for a moment, leaning back, breathing deeply, absorbing the vista. Beyond the fringe of palms, the ocean glitters an endless expanse of sparkling blue. Rested, you rise, eager to attain the summit. The staircase narrows as it climbs, now illuminated by glorious shafts of sunlight pouring through the upper windows. At last, the final step. You emerge into a bright, slope-walled chamber. Your attention is immediately captured by a striking mosaic adorning one wall. Approaching for a closer inspection of this unexpected artistry, you discern the image: a green gecko, lounging contentedly in the shade of a coconut palm. Perhaps it's fancy, but the lizard appears to be smiling. Across the room, an open doorway beckons outside to the viewing deck. You step through into the brilliant light. 20 meters above the ground, the sensation is one of suspension between earth and sky. The panorama steals your breath. Boundless ocean encircles the island. Nearer the shore, a coral reef manifests as a dark blue stain upon the otherwise aquamarine water. A darkness that belies the vibrant, rainbow-hued underwater forest teeming with fish of every size that it truly is. This reef, of course, is the lighthouse's raison d'etre. Your gaze shifts from the magnificent sweep of nature to a sign affixed to the gallery railing. You begin to read. A century ago, Coral Isle was terra incognita, absent from charts. Its existence remained largely unknown until the vanishing of a great merchant vessel. Years later, a search party stumbled upon the wreck, impaled on a coral reef. They were charting the ocean when a lookout spotted the hull breaching the surface like an iceberg, proximate to a small, uncharted island. For many years, the wreck lay undisturbed by human hands, becoming a sanctuary for wildlife. Herons, kites, and other birds nested within its decaying structure. Then, one day, the last vestiges of the hull succumbed to the waves, vanishing entirely beneath the surface. Now, a destination for divers, The shipwreck rests near the reef just off Coral Isle's coast. As you finish reading, a presence makes itself known. Turning, you find a man clad in a flannel shirt and jeans standing nearby. His expression is open, welcoming. He introduces himself as Elias, the lighthouse keeper, extending a hand. You grasp it, noting the dry, leathery texture of his skin, weathered by sun and toil. Curiosity stirs about the rhythms of his solitary profession. Elias walks to the opposite side of the lookout, beckoning you to follow. A slender steel ladder ascends toward the gigantic lantern above. Climbing, you feel the fine powder of rust coating your fingers. You follow Elias, who has already surmounted the 20 rungs. At the top, a stone platform supports the light mechanism. Directly beneath the lantern sits a small doorway leading to the keeper's private quarters. He invites you inside. The ceiling is low, the room unexpectedly dim. It holds a narrow bed, a battered chest of drawers, and a stack of books. Inhaling, you register the ubiquitous salty perfume that permeates the muted light. The sea's essence is everywhere. Elias moves to the far side of the small room and unlatches a hatch in the ceiling. With practiced ease, he scales the descending ladder and calls for you to follow. Climbing after him, you emerge right beside the massive light itself. The array of bulbs creates a shimmering, almost liquid effect. Sunlight glances off the complex reflectors behind the winking glass. Peering into the lens, you see a beautiful, fragmented distortion of your surroundings, an abstract composition of your own face interspersed with patches of sky and sea. The lamp assembly radiates a dazzling, cool silver light. You settle into a nearby chair, observing Elias, wondering what comes next. He busies himself beneath the light, manipulating wires, employing specialized tools. His movements generate a slow, metallic rhythm, a percussive beat to which you find your breath unconsciously synchronizing. It's as if he's forgotten your presence, but then he looks up, a smile touching his lips as he registers your fascination. Let me tell you how things work around here. He offers, his voice soft mellow. You listen intently as he begins. There are two of us keepers, myself and Art. We trade shifts, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. He'll arrive early tomorrow with the supply boat. We'll pass the day talking, eating, maybe play some cards. Then I head back to the mainland come evening. My days here, I usually sleep from about 5 in the morning till noon. He pauses, perhaps picturing it. Then I swim, cook, read a bit. Afternoons are for chores, whatever needs doing. Another pause, a glance towards the horizon. Sunset's quite a show around here. You should try and catch it. Once it's dark, that's when the real work starts. Power up the light, check the logs for scheduled voyages, get on the radio, see what's happening out there. Just making sure everything runs smooth. That's a good day's work. While Elias speaks, your eyes drift to the window. Sunset is indeed approaching. The sun hangs just above the water, poised, it seems, for its nightly plunge. Wisps of cloud trail behind it, drifting languidly along the horizon. Glancing back at the keeper, you notice him hunched slightly, gaze fixed on something in his lap. Moving closer, you see he's drawing. sketching a small parakeet in flight amidst a cluster of palm trees. He explains it's a way to pass the time, usually completing a few sketches each shift. He asks if you'd care to see more. Descending briefly into his cabin via the ladder, he reappears a moment later holding two crisp sheets of paper. The drawings possess a simple beauty. One, stark in black and white, captures a sea snake, its slender form elegantly arched as it glides into deeper water. The intricate detail on its striped body sparks recognition. You've seen postcards bearing this distinct style in mainland souvenir shops. When you mention this, Elias nods, pleased. They are indeed his work, he confirms. The second drawing, softly shaded with colored pencils, evokes a warm, convivial atmosphere. A group of cheerful tourists seated outdoors, enjoying a meal of vividly orange fish and coconut curry. Silas, the skipper who brought you here, is among them, grinning as he strums a guitar for the holiday makers. He gestures toward the window again. The sun is now performing its final act. Half submerged, its reflection on the incandescent water creates the illusion of a perfect, fiery orb resting upon the sea. The sky is ablaze, a watercolor wash of molten orange and soft pink. You watch, captivated, as the sun sinks lower, relinquishing its dominion until only residual rays streak the heavens. Looking at Elias, you're struck by his expression. A quiet smile, faint lines crinkling the corners of his eyes. Perhaps you think it's gratitude for the daily privilege of witnessing such splendor. With the sun fully extinguished, it's time for the keeper's primary task, igniting the beacon. A sense of anticipation fills the small space. Elias moves to the rear of the lamp assembly. He pulls four distinct levers, activating each section of the light. Reaching down, he flips another switch on the mounting mechanism. The great lamp begins its ponderous rotation. From this high vantage, you witness the perfect, sweeping arc of its intense beam, momentarily illuminating the dark smudge of the coral reef, then questing out across the darkening water, searching for approaching vessels. The hour grows late. Silas will likely be waiting. You shake Elias's hand, thanking him for an unforgettable day. Then, you descend the cool steel ladder back to the viewing deck. One final lingering look at the panorama, now transformed into a tranquil, star-dusted tableau. The ocean sighs below, and a gentle breeze seems to whisper a soft goodnight. You re-enter the stone tower, the spiral staircase descending into shadow. Carefully, step by step, you make your way down the long flight. Pausing occasionally, you peer through the narrow slit windows, catching fragmented glimpses of the night-bound island and sea. Emerging from the lighthouse, you head towards the beach to find Silas. The night air carries a different character now. The island's tropical daytime perfume has yielded to a drowsy, earthy fragrance, the scent of lush, nocturnal vegetation. On the beach, you discover Silas hadn't merely waited. He'd strung a hammock between two palms and surrendered to sleep. The hammock sways gently, mirroring the subtle motion of the daydream tethered at the jetty. He looks utterly peaceful, and the thought of disturbing him feels wrong. Perhaps a brief rest for yourself too, before the return journey. You lie back on the cool, soft sand, gazing upward at the immense scatter of stars. Above, The lighthouse beam performs its rhythmic sweep across the heavens, a hypnotic pendulum painting light across the constellations. Back and forth, back and forth. You close your eyes, drawing a deep, slow breath, and exhale completely. It is time to rest now, to drift, perhaps to dream of this perfect day.